What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be fixing our 1.6 turbo diesel fueling issues, and to finish out the video, we're going to be talking about some bad news on the Corrado with some major updates.
Well, guys, here we have two Rabbit truck fuel tanks. Here is one that I wasted the last 4 months on, and this is the one that's going to be going in the truck. It turns out it does not matter what's on the outside, but in fact the inside. So the saga begins last fall. You guys saw me get the Rabbit truck running. This thing is awesome. It looks great, runs great. Took it to the Tri-State Corrado cruise, which isn't far from here because my Corrado wasn't done yet. On the way home, we're driving. The thing starts sputtering, just dies. It's not getting fuel. Now I have to just say, I'm not a diesel guy. So a lot of this has been a learning process for me, but hopefully you guys can also learn through the process. So turned out the engine wasn't getting fuel, so ran home, got a jug of diesel, stuck it in the engine bay, threw the hood in the bed, and drove it home like that. It was kind of comical, but worked out great. Got it home, cut the fuel filter open, because I was suspicious that there was rust in the tank. And of course, fuel filter was full of rust, which you guys know the story. This thing was in a barn for over 25 years, so it was just sitting there rusting from the inside out. So that makes sense. Dropped the tank, soaked it in vinegar for about a week, put about 8 gallons in it, plugged up all the holes, and would slosh it every now and then, dump it out, put more in. Got so much junk out. It was unbelievable, but it still did not look great. But I was like, hey, you know what? If I got 20 miles out of it without problems, hopefully now we'll get 100. I'll just do a fuel filter frequently. It'll be great. I was too lazy to really do much more. So tried it out, literally pulled it out of my driveway, went 1 block, thing dies. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how could it get worse? So rolled it back in the garage. Shout out to my wife. She's helped me push this thing a lot of times now. So rolled it in here, checked everything. The fuel filter was actually clean. Blew down through the lines. Well, here the lines were actually plugged. So I think what happened was, while the vinegar did clean a lot of rust out of the tank, there's just a layer of goo on the bottom that's literally just bringing up, and it's actually sucking those out through the lines. So now I will say at this point, there are companies that you can ship the whole fuel tank to, and they'll literally cut it open, clean it, coat the insides, and you'll never have this problem again. But I like doing things cheap, also DIY, and just like learning myself. So I was like, you know what? I'll cut the top off, do it right. And that's why my dad was like, why are you screwing around? You got a parts truck that literally sits here. This is a point of a parts truck. So, and I should also say, these tanks are not made new. You can get Rabbit hatchback ones, but not for the Rabbit trucks. And they're just a weird size tank. So that's why we're doing this. So pulled the tank out of the parts truck, which you can see it looks nasty. It needs a lot of work, but thankfully this one was on the road about 2 years ago, so I pulled the drivetrain for this truck. So hopefully we're gonna throw it in. We'll be home free by the end of this video. Before I put the tank in, a couple things I have found super helpful. First off, someone recommended to me when I was trying to diagnose this several times, fuel clear hose. I would prefer the supply and return clear, but I only ordered enough for that. But that is super nice because these injection pumps are very finicky. There's no lift pump in the tank pushing the fuel up, or just like a gas vehicle has a fuel pump. There's nothing there, so it's 100% suction. So even say you have a loose hose clamp, you can get air sucked in there, or in my case, like if the fuel's not coming up through the lines properly, right away all of a sudden you can see that when your engine starts sputtering, you're getting air right there. So just like I said the last time, blew out the lines, they were clogged, fired up in the driveway, had it idling for a couple minutes, and just my RPM starts slowly dropping, and noticed, boom, there's air bubbles forming in here. And even crazier, it turns out the last time, pulled the lines off, they weren't clogged, but actually there was no fuel even coming out of the tank. So that's how much that layer on the bottom was just going right into there and clogging it up. So that's why I knew, you know what, there's no point in messing with that tank. One other thing that I learned that's really fascinating, that this can get people in trouble too. So the main input seal on the front of the injection pump, supposedly, because of all that suction there, they can actually catch air in there. Really crazy, your engine can be starving for fuel, and everything on your entire fuel system can be clean, but you're getting air, it will not run. So something you can do is just spray it down with gum cutter or starting fluid all over like the front of the pump there, and just like a vacuum leak on a gas engine, it'll rev up. Learn something new every day. Alrighty guys, tank is looking fresh. It is rather pitted, but hey, at least it won't get any worse. Got the pads glued on there, and you can see I also freshened up the fuel gauge harness. It looked like a mouse had gotten a little hungry. And also, last time I had the tank out, I had painted the straps, and you can see I glued on these rubber strips I found on Amazon. Just gotta have something between the tank and the straps just to keep it from rusting in there. So let's do this. Alrighty guys, truck's been running for about 10-15 minutes now. Runs awesome. I am super pumped. It's been months in the making. We'll drive it, make sure it's still good. First sign though right here, see we got no bubbles. So that's something why I love having that line on there. You can just watch that all the time. So yeah, feels really good to have it out. This thing just looks awesome. Oh yeah. Alrighty guys, this is it right here. Last time I drove it, made it to this stop sign and it died. So, still running good. My turn signals are working, that's a plus. Alright. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Man, this thing's so cool. It's good to be back. Oh yes. Super pumped. It's actually my birthday today, so best birthday present, be able to drive this thing without issues in like for the first time in like 4 months. So that's super cool. We'll finish out this video as I promised, talk about the Corrado and my super unawesome news about that.
So the car you have been asking about. So if you've been following along, I grenaded this trans, set metal all through it. It was really bad. So the plan was to fix it up over winter and have it ready for springtime, but spring is here, the car is not ready to go. So the transmission that was in the car had a Pelican diff in it, and so I also had a parts transmission, so the plan was just to swap everything in there. It was going to be a quick process, get the car back on the road. So Called up Peliquin. They said, hey, ship it down to us in Georgia. We'll inspect it, clean it up for you, and send it back, and then you won't have to worry about it. So I sent it down about 3 months ago, and USPS does not know what happened to it. So it's been a really frustrating process. Obviously, I didn't want to buy a new one until I knew it was gone for sure, because they're expensive. Second, even worse is the fact that Peliquins are out of stock everywhere. You can't get them right now. So then next up is Wave Track, which I'm fine with, but then they're a couple $100 more, and so I've just been waiting. But spring is here, the weather is great. I was like, you know what? Hey, we're biting the bullet. We're doing this. So shout out to AP Tuning in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. They hooked me up. Quick turnaround. This transmission is awesome. We got some goodies in there. I am really excited about this. So I just want to jump on here, let you guys know this is what's going on with the car. We're about to make things happen. I'm super excited. So hit that thumbs up button if you guys are excited to see this thing back out on the road. I am so pumped. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.